Hello, I'm Mike, and I'm going to give you a quick, simple process to make a polished podcast using AI tools that you're going to love. NotebookLM blew everyone's minds when you discovered you could generate podcasts with virtual hosts, and Wondercraft is an amazing AI audio editor and really studio for content creation, and they're actually sponsoring this video, giving me the chance to show you how you can do way more with podcasts that you generate in NotebookLM. Use the link down below and the coupon code MRC for a nice discount. This is the Wondercraft homepage. You can actually sign up and start creating for free, so that's exactly what I recommend that you do. Next, we're going to head over to NotebookLM here, and this is a product from Google where we can create a new notebook. If you've never used this before, it's absolutely incredible. You can add sources from across the internet, so whether it's in your Google Drive, links to websites or YouTube videos, or even just pasting in copied text, it will generate a concise notebook using AI with notes and summaries, and the best bit, yes, you can create a podcast. So let's actually go ahead and do that. We're going to use Mr. Beast's channel, one of my favorite videos of his where he tries a $1 versus a $500,000 plane ticket. I've just copied the URL to that YouTube video. I'm clicking YouTube here, and then I'm clicking Paste YouTube URL. Then we click Insert. NotebookLM will get to work, and within just a few seconds, in fact, the time it took me to tell you this, it's actually describing to you what the video is all about. It's giving me a brief summary. Down here, obviously, I could type in questions about that video and essentially quiz with AI exactly what's being said. But the absolutely crazy feature is the audio overview. Now, this takes a few minutes to create, so I'll speed the video up at this point. But you click Generate, and essentially you get two hosts talking about whatever content you've put into NotebookLM. So whether that happens to be some notes, a really hard document of scientific study, or your taxes, these AI hosts will talk about that. Okay, that was super easy. It's generated a nearly 17-minute podcast about this Mr. Beast video. I'm really curious to listen to how it might sound, so let's just click play for a short while.
All right, so get this. We're diving deep into the world of flying today, but we're taking inspiration from a Mr. Beast YouTube video. Have you seen this one?
Oh yeah, Mr. Beast going all out as usual.
Exactly. He actually flew on everything from like a super bare bones plane to a private jet.
It really is quite incredible, the creativity of AI alone from NotebookLM to generate a podcast based on any content on the web. But there are some limitations. For instance, once the podcast is made, you can't edit the script, so you can't edit what the hosts say. You also can't choose the voices. You always get the same male and female voice every single time, and you can't add backing music and make it more interactive and exciting. So this is where we're going to actually download this podcast by clicking the three dots button here, and then we'll click download, and now we're over in Wondercraft where we're going to do the magic, okay? This is going to do really good stuff with our NotebookLM podcast. And actually, if you log in, you will see they've got a full tutorial video inside and a NotebookLM integration. So you just click edit your NotebookLM audio, and it then gives you the ability to upload the MP3 file you just downloaded tagged as NotebookLM. This means it will automatically recognize your speakers and everything else that's been generated so you can make those edits. Okay, so I've clicked to upload and it's preparing the audio now. I can just go away, maybe have a quick cup of tea, and in minutes, it'll all be separated out and ready for me to edit. Okay, and here we are. It's all done. First of all, we've got the transcript of the podcast, and the speakers are separated out into speaker 1 and speaker 2. So if I select here and hit play, we'll hear this said.
This one?
Oh yeah, Mr. Beast going all out as usual.
So exactly what we want said. Now, this is where it gets super interesting because we can make changes to the show. For instance, we can choose to change a speaker. For instance, speaker 2, we might say that we want to have a different voice. So just click here on change voice. And well as being so many different voices available inside Wondercraft, I actually have my own voice clone. Yes, that's right, you can clone your own voice into Wondercraft as well. So I'm going to pick me as the voice of speaker 2, which is the male voice from the NotebookLM podcast. I'll just go ahead and click plus, and then I'll say apply to all clips with speaker 2's voice. Now to make sure that generic male voice in the Google NotebookLM podcast changes to me, I just click generate all here, and then click generate. And here we have it in a matter of moments. It's all ready. Let's play. Mr. Beast going all out as usual.
Exactly. He actually flew on everything from like,
Now that is stunning. I never recorded this podcast, but now I'm one of the hosts. And of course, if I wanted to, I could choose a different speaker, either a cloned voice or one of the brilliant Wondercraft voices as the female voice too. Now, say we wanted to change part of the script, we can also do that. So not only can we change the voices and have control there, but we can actually edit this like a text document. So I can say, oh yeah, Mr. Beast going all out as usual. Let's explore that on this Wondercraft special podcast episode. Maybe put an exclamation mark at the end. And then, of course, whenever I've made any change, I just need to click Generate All to make sure it's regenerated. And every time, it's going to tell me how many credits from my account I'm using, unless I tick Do Not Show Again. And do you know what? I might do that this time. Mr. Beast going all out as usual. Let's explore that on this Wondercraft special podcast episode.
exactly. He actually flew on everything from like,
Next up, perhaps we want to add some spice to the podcast, and seeing as we're talking about planes here, maybe we should add some sound effects. Just click the Sound Effects tab, and you can search through Wondercraft's SFX library. So I could look for something like plane. Let's type in plane, and here we go. We've got propeller plane, we've got plane flying by, and before I choose to add any of these, I can actually play them. And you know what? That's actually pretty perfect. I'm going to insert it. So we'll go ahead here and click Add to Timeline. And within moments, it's added. Now I can use the zoom controls here to get right in and see exactly where I want this to be. So maybe just here before we transition into our next host, we'll put it just there. And if I want, I can turn the volume down because I know it's going to be quite loud. And let's audition this by playing back. Let's explore that on this Wondercraft special podcast episode.
exactly. He actually flew on.
And again, I probably need to change the levels there to make sure it's not so overpowering, and play back again. Let's explore that on this Wondercraft special podcast episode.
Exactly. He actually flew on everything from like,
So there you go. We've got a plain sound effect inserted into the podcast that was initially generated by NotebookLM, but now we're having fine-grain editing control. But it doesn't stop there. Maybe I want to get more technical and I want to actually start the podcast from me saying, oh yeah, and not have this little intro spiel. I'm going to select that part of the script, hit delete there, and now I can start the podcast by selecting all with Command A and budging it all the way to 0 seconds. And now the podcast will start exactly here with oh yeah. Oh yeah, Mr. Beast going all out as usual. Let's explore that on this Wondercraft special podcast episode.
exactly. He actually flew on everything from.
There we go, and we're straight into the episode. So I'm going to spruce this up more by adding in some music at the start just to get things going. And again, let's put something in here. So let's put in dance and see what comes up, and we'll audition a few. Yeah, that's a bit twee for me. Let's scroll down. Oh, Celestial Dance. This could be good. There's also Cloud Dance. That's more chilled out. Celestial Dance Floor. That's got kind of a nice ethereal feel that I'm looking for. So again, I'm going to add this to the timeline, but I don't want to use all of it here, so I need to trim it a little bit. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see the full audio track here. And we can actually grab this handle at the end and look, it's as simple as this to start dragging it in. And then we'll zoom in for a little bit more control. That's it, just there. And then I'm going to grab this handle here and maybe just play the first chords of that music as a very simple podcast intro. Let's play this back and have a listen. Oh yeah, Mr. Beast going all out as usual. Let's explore. And again, we hear the music is overpowering. No worries there, because we can just fade it down using these very simple to use controls. Let's go back to the start here and play back again. Oh yeah, Mr. Beast going all out as usual. Nice. Let's explore that on this Wondercraft special podcast episode.
Exactly. He actually flew on everything from like.
So that's pretty incredible. And you may wonder, do I need to fade the music in and out? No, you don't, because by default, you can see there are some fades in and out on the music added to your track by default. You can, of course, adjust these a little bit, so you can move that fade like that. And also, if you want to, you can also move this fade at the end here to fine grain control it to be exactly where you need it to be. So it's really easy. And I want to also point out at this stage, the two AI hosts, or now the one AI female and My Voice Clone, they're split onto different tracks here for individual control. We can also place fades here, so if there are any awkward edits or problems, we can fade using the dots at the top or change the duration using these pull handles here. We can also adjust other things like tone and emphasis for each speaker. Let me show you that. So now I'm just going to pull this down so I can see more of the script, and I'm going to select this first piece of the voice. Let's go to the start. Now say,
"Oh yeah, Mr.
Maybe I wanted to say, oh yeah, maybe I wanted to say that whole thing in a different way. Well, actually, we can go into parrot mode here. And with parrot mode, I can record my voice saying it the way I'd like it said. So let's do that. It gives me a little countdown, and then I'll say the line again. Oh yeah, Mr. Beast going all out as usual. Let's explore that on this Wondercraft special podcast episode. And now, just like magic, we can play the podcast back from the beginning and listen to my voice parrots in full action.
Oh yeah, Mr. Beast going all out as usual. Let's explore that on this Wondercraft special podcast episode."
Finally here, let's scroll back to the original line and look at director mode as well on this NotebookLM podcast. And I'm going to tell it to say this in a very different way. Add laughter throughout. And then we'll just say go. Wondercraft is generating. And now it's updated that line. Let's have a listen.
Oh yeah, Mr. Beast going all out as usual. Let's explore that on this Wondercraft special podcast episode.
Made me laugh in a, I don't know, rather a nerdy way. I'm not sure I laugh like that. Do I? Let's go ahead and approve the take. Now, you're probably wondering, once I'm happy with this podcast episode and I've done all of those edits that I'm happy with, how do I export it? It's really easy. Just go up here to the top right and go export, and you'll ideally want to download it so that you can maybe upload it to your podcast host. And the MP3 is set at 192K bitrate to start with, but you can export it as a WAV file, which means it's a wave and it's lossless, or for podcasts, I generally go for 128. So let's select 128 and click download, and it really is as simple as that. It starts preparing your audio, and then it downloads in your browser, and you have an MP3 file you can upload and distribute anywhere, and you've created a podcast in minutes using AI tools, NotebookLM from Google, and Wondercraft. I'm really grateful to Wondercraft for sponsoring this video and showing just what's possible. We did a lot from generating the original show in NotebookLM to editing it in Wondercraft. Now, I've got a link you can use. It's down below. Use the coupon code MRC for a nice discount to try out Wondercraft. And I really encourage you to comment. What are you going to do with this? Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more like this. Thanks to Wondercraft, and YouTube is showing a video on your screen now you should watch next. Thanks.